Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Merry Christmas to those of you guys celebrating. I hope you and your families have a very blessed time. And because it is the festive period, the fixtures are coming thick and fast, and so are the FPL deadlines as well. So today we're going to talk about my Game Week 19 team selection, and I'm having to record this just before the Chelsea versus Wolves game so that I can get it out for you guys in time. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please do give it a like and also subscribe as well if you are new around here. If you are watching this on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, there is still time to contribute to the charity drive that we're doing. I will be making the donation on Christmas Day itself. So if you're watching this and you aren't subscribed yet, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button and you will be contributing more to charity. If you want more information, it's in the description down below. Alright, so let's talk about my Game Week 19 team. I'm not going to review Game Week 18 because it's not over yet. As I've mentioned, I'm recording this just before the Chelsea versus Wolves game. But for the time being, I am on a small green arrow to 344k in the world. It's very, very small, about a 10k green arrow. But I'll take it. Green arrows are always good for the team. And for Game Week 19, this is how the team is looking like without transfers made. So coming into Game Week 19, I actually thought that I would need to make a transfer. I have one free transfer and 6.4 million in the bank. And I have players like Livramento and Darwin Núñez who are by no means guaranteed starters. So I actually thought that I would need to spend transfers to deal with those issues. But in light of the events for Game Week 18, where both of them were benched and only came on for cameos, I think there's a very good chance that both of them start in Game Week 19, in which case I can just roll this one free transfer that I have. So let's talk about each player individually. I have Dubravka in goal here, who plays Nottingham Forest at home. This is probably the last week that I will need Dubravka. From Game Week 20 to Game Week 22, Newcastle have quite a tough run that includes Liverpool and also Aston Villa away. That is when I think Dubravka would likely concede and when Areola would be very handy. So from Game Week 20 onwards, I'm likely to start Areola. And good news is that he's back, and he's just kept his first clean sheet of the season against Manchester United. So his form as well as the fixtures and him coming back into the starting 11 is coming at a great time. Hopefully from Game Week 20 onwards, he will be useful. So in defense, I have Pedro Porro, Livramento, and Ezri Konsa. For Pedro Porro, I have no issue starting him against Brighton away. His attacking threat is just super good. Unfortunately, he did not keep a clean sheet against Everton in Game Week 18. It was wiped out towards the end of the game. But I think with Spurs in general, they don't really keep too many clean sheets, but the fixtures moving forward are pretty alright for them in terms of a clean sheet perspective. The only other thing is that Romero came off and he came off at halftime and he was icing his hamstring, his right hamstring in specific. So I think he could be down with an injury, and that obviously affects the Tottenham defense. It doesn't make it as strong. But I still think I'm just going to start Porro. Hope he gets a clean sheet, and then attacking returns are generally his source of points. Right, for Livramento, he plays Nottingham Forest at home. As I've mentioned, I think there's a good chance Livramento starts in Game Week 19. And given the injury issues for Newcastle, where some players have come back from injury, players like Dan Burn, Botman was actually rushed back into the Game Week 18 game. They did not actually want to start with Botman, but because Lascelles came off at around the 30th minute, they needed to start. They needed to play Botman earlier than they wanted to, at least, right? So I feel as if there's a good chance maybe Botman gets a rest, Dan Burn fills in for Botman at centre back, and then maybe Livramento moves to the left. Or else, there's also another issue with Fabian Schär where he was kind of hobbling towards the end of the game. And in that sense, if they want to rest Schär instead, then Burn would fill in for Fabian Schär, and then Livramento could come in on the left. Or if they do want to give Kieran Trippier a rest, they could also start Livramento at right back. So I think regardless of how they permutate the defense, Livramento would still get a run in Game Week 19, which is probably the last week that I will need him. And another reason why I think Livramento will start is that Newcastle will be playing Liverpool in Game Week 20. So I think they want their first team defense to start in that game. Livramento, unfortunately, is probably not their first choice back four right now, and that's why I think he'll fill in this game for Nottingham Forest. Hopefully he keeps a clean sheet there. For Ezri Konsa, there's Manchester United away for him. I definitely prefer this fixture ahead of the fixtures that I have for my other defenders on the bench. So Gehi has Chelsea away, Taylor has Liverpool at home. Ezri Konsa did not keep a clean sheet, unfortunately, in game week 18. I brought him in for Tsimikas. Tsimikas unfortunately came off with an injury, a collarbone injury in game week 18, so he did not score that many points to make that transfer not worth it. But Konza, I think moving forward, is a player that I'm quite glad to have in my team. And I think there's a very good chance against Manchester United away, who have not scored in the past 4 games, that Konza can keep a clean sheet there. So Konza in defense, and he wraps up this 3-man defense that I have. In midfield, it's Palmer, Salah, Son, and Saka. I think there's worries about Saka's returns not really coming, and I think he could be on the chopping block for me quite soon. I'm quite concerned about his numbers as well as his output. So for the time being in game week 19, I don't think I would need to remove him. He's playing at the Emirates against West Ham, but I think there's a very good chance that he leaves my team in the foreseeable future if he keeps up this this returns, because 9 million at that price tag, I need a lot more from him, right? And then there's Salah and Son, definitely going to keep them for both of their games. I have the captain's armband on Salah for the time being, because I do favor that Burnley away fixture for now. And then for Cole Palmer, the only uncertainty right now, because I'm recording this before the Chelsea versus Wolves game, is that I don't really know if he's going to get his 5th yellow card, which would then cause him to be suspended in game week 19. So fingers crossed that by the time you're watching this video, I'll release it after the Chelsea versus Wolves game. Fingers crossed that he does not get a yellow card and he can play in game week 19, because if that's the case, then I will be able to roll my 1 free transfer. If I'm not, then I'll discuss later on in the transfer tinkering section how I intend to deal with that particular scenario. Right, then up front is Darwin Núñez, Solanke, and Ollie Watkins. About Darwin Núñez, I think he has not been playing his best football for sure, and it's very, very frustrating to watch him as a Darwin Núñez owner, because he misses lots of chances, and I feel like in general his play does not really suit the Liverpool attack right now. Right, he's kind of functioning as if he's an individual in a team, right? But he's not really linking up play that well. So I'm quite concerned about that, and he will be leaving my team for in game week 20 for Erling Haaland. But the only issue now I have is that I think he will start in game week 19, so I can't remove him now for Erling Haaland, right? So we don't really have conclusive news whether Erling Haaland is back for game week 19 or not. There's speculation, etc., but I doubt we will hear from Pep before the game week 19 deadline. And in that case, I may just have to keep Darwin Núñez for 1 more week, start him against Burnley away, roll this 1 free transfer, and then bring Haaland in for Darwin Núñez in game week 20. So that's the thinking for now. For Solanke, he's the man of the moment. I'm glad I brought him in for Archer in game week 17. Archer, of course, returned in game week 18, but I was always going to start Solanke. Got a hat-trick against Forest, so really good. And his ownership was actually only 20%, so it was quite a differential. And that was kind of why I got a small green arrow as well. So him against Fulham at home, I do foresee him being quite a good differential captain for those of you guys wanting to go there. And then for Ollie Watkins, plays Manchester United away. With the way that they've been defending, I think there's a good chance Ollie Watkins gets some returns as well. So on the bench, most of my players there place themselves there. Areola plays Arsenal away, Adingra has Tottenham at home, Gehi has Chelsea away, and Taylor has Liverpool at home. So all of them are going to be on the bench. For now, this is how the team is looking like, and let's take a look at my future plans on the transfer tinkering tool. So this is my team on Fantasy Football Hub Transfer Planner, and let's talk about the case where Cole Palmer does not get his yellow card and he will be fit to play in game week 19. If that's the case, I can stick to my current plan, which is to roll the transfer. So let's say we roll the transfer into game week 20. Right, I will have 2 free transfers here and 6.4 million in the bank. I think what I'm likely to do in game week 20 is to take Darwin Núñez out for Erling Haaland. As you guys can see, I have the exact funds for this. I have 0.0 million in the bank after this move. And then come game week 21, when Salah and Son both go to the African Cup of Nations, I can remove both of them. And the players I'm likely to bring in for both of them are Bowen and Richarlison. Right, so I think this is a very nice double change that I would like to make, and I think it sets my team up quite well for the period where Salah and Son are gone. So I think I really like this plan, and I, as much as possible, want to stick to this plan. But let's go back to game week 19 now and talk about the case where Cole Palmer misses out, and I may have Of course, if he misses out, meaning that he gets his 5th yellow card in the Chelsea versus Wolves game, and then he is suspended for Game Week 19. If that's the case, there's a couple of ways I can go about it. I definitely would not sell Cole Palmer because the fixtures are still there for him. And after assuming he is suspended for Game Week 19, he will still be back from Game Week 20 onwards. So I'm likely not to sell Cole Palmer if he gets his 5th yellow. What I'm likely to do is to upgrade either Adingra or Gehi, who are on my bench right now. I can use the chance to deal with those two who are issues actually right now, because Adingra will be going to the African Cup of Nations in Game Week 21. Gehi's fixtures are just not good, and Crystal Palace aren't keeping clean sheets at all. I just haven't had the transfers or the time to deal with them at this point. But I think if Cole Palmer is suspended, I can deal with them. And if I remove Gehi, the player that I'm likely to bring in is actually Gabriel, who of course just got a bullet header. I can of course go for Saliba, but I think for now I'm likely to go for Gabriel instead. So if I go for Gabriel here, the fixtures there are really good for Gabriel. West Ham at home, Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home, Forest away, before they play Liverpool in Game Week 23. So I think the fixtures are there for Arsenal to get clean sheets. And of course, the attacking threat of Gabriel is really good. So if Cole Palmer is suspended, I can just drop him to the bench and I'll play Gabriel instead. This is likely how the team would look like. Assuming I don't want to make this move, let's say I reverse this move and I bring Gehi back. The other alternative is that I can just go for a midfield transfer. Right, so I'll put Gehi back down onto the bench. Let me just bring him down to the bench like this. And I can of course remove Adingra as well, which is another option, and then I can go for either one of Bowen or Richarlison. For now, I actually prefer Richarlison because of the fixture. Richarlison has Brighton away in Game Week 19. Richarlison has Brighton away. Bowen has Arsenal away. So obviously Richarlison has the better fixture, but for now it seems as if he came off with a little bit of a back injury. He was holding his back as he was taken off during the Everton game. So hopefully we get more news on that. And I will of course only need to make this transfer if Cole Palmer is suspended. So assuming I do this move, then I can just drop Cole Palmer to the bench and play Richarlison instead. So these are likely what's going to happen for Game Week 19. But assuming I don't have to make any moves, let's say Cole Palmer is fine to play, I can just very well roll with this team. So Dubravka in goal, Porro, Konza and Livramento as the back three, Salah, Son, Saka and Palmer in the midfield, and then up front, Nunes, Solanke and Watkins. So let me know what you guys think and what you guys are doing for Game Week 19 in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and of course, once again, just before we drop off, I just wanted to show you guys, just wanted to shout out to you guys the Christmas charity drive that we're still doing. So if you aren't subscribed yet, all you have to do is subscribe to contribute to the Christmas charity drive. It will be ending pretty much by the time you're watching this in a couple of hours. Alright, so there we go. Merry Christmas to you and your families. I hope you guys have a very, very happy and blessed Christmas, and I will catch you guys on the Game Week 19 deadline stream. Bye-bye.